Hey, Dan Meyer here, and today I'm going to talk to you about some tools that I use to run my business. And so just to kind of remind you, if you're not familiar with my background, I've been doing my own thing as an entrepreneur for about 10 years now. I have a business of about 100 employees. They're all virtual. They work all over the world, and I work wherever I'm at. So have laptop, will travel. I am working pretty much every day, at least check in, just a couple things. And so I'm going to talk to you about some of the tools that I use when I'm working, when I'm doing things for my business. Now, some days I work a lot, some days I don't work much at all, but every day I'm always checking a couple of these tools at least, or using a couple of these tools to be able to help move my business forward, to keep looking for new business, to keep running the current operations, to stay in touch with my team, and to keep available for my clients. And so I'll cover these. It'll break it down into several different topic areas. So the first thing I'll talk about is project management tools, about what I use to keep myself organized, and also share with my team what I want them to do, so there's a constant feedback. I also use a couple different messaging apps that we use for communication, primarily just for quick messaging back and forth to certain employees and certain clients. I'll talk about cloud storage tools, about how we store documents on certain cloud sites. I'll mention to you my experience with a couple graphic design tools, and the ones that I use primarily for marketing in my business. I'll talk about some places to go to get free images. I'll also talk about how to set up and how to run online meetings, seminars, webinars, conferences, and so forth. And then I'll also talk briefly about some social media tools that post to multiple sites. And then I'll kind of wrap up with talking about some free analytics tools, some tools that you have built into social media sites and to website hosting platforms that allow you to be able to understand the traffic coming to whatever you're trying to look at, whether it be social media or website. So I'm going to cover those. I'm going to break that down to a couple different videos. So the first couple things I'll talk about today will really be around how I keep my day organized. Before I do that, though, I want to share with you a bit about my background. I mentioned before that I've been running my own business. And as I've run my own business for the last 10 years, I've been able to take a lot of the lessons I learned from working for corporate America for 20 years, as far as how big companies run and how they have so many systems in place and so many tools available to help that. I've imported a lot of that knowledge to what I've been doing in my own business and what I do, as well as coaching and helping other businesses, is taking the systems and scaling them down to a smaller business level, or to at least a medium-sized business. This is important because you have to be able to understand how all these tools work within systems. And when you do that, you're able to set up, virtual teams. So if you're running your business right now and you're trying to run your business virtually, meaning that you are trying to do work for yourself and or grow a team of people that work virtually for clients, it's important to understand some of these tools. If you're looking to freelance and go out there and look for a job based on your skill sets, you have to know these tools. And then also, if you're looking to set up something new, if you're looking to expand your what you do in a physical location to an online space, or set up an online business, you want to be able to be an expert on several tools. Now, I'm only going to cover about 20 of the hundreds of tools out there people use every day. But these are the 20 that I use, that I find to be the most interesting, the most powerful tools that, for me, give me a chance to basically, like I said, run my business from wherever I'm at on the planet. Before I go into the tool sets, though, I do want to talk to you about how important it is to have a morning routine. So whatever tools you're using, you want to work some of those tools into your morning routine. And your morning could be whenever you start your workday. I try to get up at 7 a.m. every morning. The first thing I do is when I get up, right? I don't hit the snooze button. I don't sit there in bed for a while. I try to just shoot right up out of bed, go to the bathrooms, get my day started, whatever I got to do, but I don't go back into the sleep mode. It's really important. And if you look at successful entrepreneurs, they're able to do this. The next thing I do is I also make sure I exercise in the morning, at least take a walk if I don't actually have a chance to go work out. And the idea there is you got to get your blood flowing, you got to get your cardio going. You want to make sure that your body's ready so that your mind is optimal. And it's hard to do the opposite. It's hard to start working and then go out and get exercise. So most people, like myself, we exercise either at night at the end of the day or in the morning when we first start our day to give ourselves a chance to really focus. I prefer morning exercise. The next thing is I do check my emails and a couple of messaging apps after I've already gotten up, just to see if there's any red alerts, things I need to deal with right away. Also kind of help me start setting my day. But I just do that briefly with the idea of looking at things and figuring out when can I get back to that. I don't stop what I'm doing 99% of the time and respond to everything. I actually plan what to do going forward. I also make sure that, when I shower, I get ready for the day, I prepare myself, what I'm going to wear. I want to make sure that whatever I'm wearing that day, especially for home-based, still gives me a sense that I'm working. It's easy to sit around and work in pajamas and a t-shirt, but that's not necessarily what we would do in the office. And if we don't do what we do in an office job, we're slowly going to start slacking off. And we want to be able to maintain that professional edge if we're trying to launch, grow, run a business, or to do things where we're working online every day. The next thing I do is I do juice every morning. I do take a green veggie juice to help me stay in shape, help me stay healthy, keep my immunity up. And then I eat, make sure I eat early in the morning as I'm doing all this, before I start actually working. And before I actually really get into the workday, I plan my day, right? I revisit my to-do list from the day before. I look over the couple different apps that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes that will help prepare me for that. And then I try to block off time in the morning to write. I found that's my most creative time, is in the mornings. And then once I get closer to lunch, I really start getting more in productive mode. And by the afternoon, I'm really just more in do mode. I just want to do things that I've been planning on doing all day. So creativity in the morning kind of flows. That's for me how it works. And then finally, the other thing that I do is I try as hard as possible to push meetings back as far as I can in the day. I try to keep the mornings freed up so that I can work on stuff and be creative and plan and try to have most of my meetings in the later part of the day. So that's how I set my routine. And it's been very successful for me. I've been working on my own for over 10 years. I've made millions of dollars. I've been able to employ a lot of employees. I've worked in multiple countries. So I figured this out. So that's the first step, is getting your routine ready. And once you have that routine, you start working in these tools, these applications that will allow you to be able to be more productive, to be able to optimize your time, optimize your productivity, optimize your effectiveness, your communication with your team. That's what these tools really will help you do. So I'll talk about those in a couple minutes, but that's it for this video. So feel free to follow along to part 2. And if you're interested in finding more about me or my company, you can always go to sonicva.com. It's SONICVA, VA meaning virtual assistant.com, my newest company I just launched recently. And that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. All right, thanks a lot for your time, and I hope to talk to you all again soon.